Club. Founded in 1908, we are the third oldest club of some 36,000 Rotary Club in over 200 countries throughout the world. We are a diverse community of 270 Rotarians, professionals, and community leaders who unite to serve our local and international communities through our commitment to service above self. Thank you for joining us this afternoon in the California Ballroom and online. For over 114 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and guests to our club meetings. For those who are attending online, if you are a visiting Rotarian or a guest of a Rotarian, please enter your name in the chat box located at the center at the bottom of the screen so we can recognize you in a few minutes. If you have a comment or want to ask a question of the speaker, please use the chat box. We recommend you today's meeting using speaker view located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. For today, for the thought of the day, I'd like to welcome Rotarian Tricia Connor.
Hello. In honor of President Mary Jiang's commitment to education during her term, my thought for the day is based on my firm belief that the only way to be truly educated is to challenge your own beliefs. So my thought for the day is to read a different perspective every day. That doesn't mean that you'll necessarily change your mind, but we should all be open to the challenge to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia, for that inspiring and positive thought. Okay, vision statement. The world has changed since Rotary was founded in 1905. What hasn't changed is a need for the values that defines Rotary. Please join me in reciting our vision statement. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Thank you. Visiting Rotarians. Rotary members from around the world are always welcome to visit our club, either in person or online. Gabe, do we have any visit Rotarian and guests online? Okay, somebody give a mic to Gabe.
All right. Okay, so yes, we have Rochelle Corpelis, guest of Keith. You.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm here.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Do we have any visiting Rotarians, Ed Jelen?
Yes, President Mayor. Yeah, President Mary, we are very happy to have a visiting Rotarian here with us today, and it is my pleasure to introduce Morris Chubb, who is a trustee and also very active in the club's Unhoused Impact Committee from the Rotary Club of San Jose. Please welcome Morris Chubb.
Okay, do we have any guests that you have Rotarians? Please stand and then introduce yourself and then introduce your guests. Give a mic right there.
Miko Hatano, Executive Director at Oakland Symphony, and my guest today is Dina Bartello, our Development Director.
Okay. Any other guests? All right. Okay, well, thank you for joining us today. All right. Now, for many years, Oakland Rotary presidents, including myself, used a variety of methods to quiet our ballroom crowd and encourage them to take their seats. This year, I'm going to introduce a new way to get everybody ready for the start of our meetings. Here to bring you the scoop on this exciting new plan are Michael Bruck and Jason Wiseman.
Some applause for the great Michael Brook. Come on.
Hi, Jason. Thank you, President Mary. As you may recall, past Oakland Rotary presidents have used a combination of ringing the bell, banging on a water glass, waving their arms, saying shh, and even politely asking at the ballroom be quiet with varying degrees of success.
Well, in anticipation of her first meeting, Mary asked us to come up with a brand new technique to quiet the group. We set about this task by experimenting with a few attention-getting devices.
To start, we researched some tried and true methods used by elementary school teachers. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Quiet coyote, we use this one at the zoo. Turning off the lights. While these procedures held some promise, we didn't believe they were state-of-the-art for Oakland Rotary.
So, being the comedians that we are, we experimented with a more physical approach. Hitting tennis balls into the audience. Show tennis ball. Our club insurance probably doesn't cover injury claims from tennis balls, so we decided on something a little easier, hitting ping pong balls into the audience. Show ping pong ball. Nobody would notice a ping pong ball. Releasing a flock of pigeons into the audience could be effective, but the cleanup would be required.
We then moved onto audible attention-getting methods. Ringing a bell. Too subtle. Playing a kazoo. Too grating.
I'll watch this.
Creating loud feedback from our ballroom sound system.
Don't do it.
Way too irritating. Playing the Iowa corn song. We had enough about Iowa last year.
Hey, there's one.
Blasting an air horn. Too loud.
We finally discovered the perfect solution. We will now unveil the method that will respectfully but firmly notify the group in the ballroom and on Zoom that the meeting will commence. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oakland Rotary number 3 gong. All right, so one of the club service committee members will strike the gong to signal your 5-minute warning and then again 1 minute before the start of the meeting. So here's a test. How many minutes before will you hear the gong? And how many again will you hear before? That's right. After that, we go into flogging. So your job will be to immediately finish your conversations and proceed to your seats so that President Mary will have a quiet, attentive, and seated audience for her meetings this Rotary year.
We're confident that this new technique will sweep the Rotary world. We expect that we will be asked to demonstrate the use of this gong at many future Rotary International conventions.
So let's give it a try. Please feel free to talk to your table mates. When you hear the gong, please quiet down so that President Mary may continue with the meeting. Everyone is ready for their meeting and your next agenda item.
All right. Shh. Thank you, Michael and Jason, for that humorous skit and the, and the exhibition of the gong. Jason has agreed to be the sergeant of the gong at our weekly meetings. Okay, sergeant at gong. Okay. All right. Today's meeting is sponsored by Miko Hatano from the Oakland Symphony. Would you please come to the podium at this point?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited to be here. I see so many people who are subscribers and supporters of the Symphony, so first of all, thank you so much for your longtime support and going on. I think many of you also knew my partner, colleague, friend, and mentor, the late Maestro Michael Morgan. And I'm just here to tell you about some opportunities as we're going to be a part of the future of Oakland Symphony and its musical leadership. So we have some really great opportunities to sponsor going forward, as we have all of our different candidates coming to be guest conductors, and we're really excited about this slate. So here's our investment opportunities. Next slide, please. So why invest? You've already met Michael Morgan, and we are going in that legacy forward and continuing to be a critical part of our community and civic life here in Oakland. But we get about 1,500 to 3,000 people at each one of our concerts during our season. So that's a great amount of visibility. Next slide, please. 25% of our annual budget goes to music education. Typically, any symphony orchestra is usually at most 2%. So again, we are, just as we say, an invested orchestra in our community. We do 6 concerts at the Paramount Theater, and we are excited to, in 2023, be moving towards the Calvin Simmons Theater and adding them as another venue. Within our education space, we also have 95 young musicians who are part of our international touring youth orchestra, and they often do side-by-sides. We have a concert on August 4th coming up, and a few of their members will be doing a side-by-side with us. We serve over 1,750 students in Oakland Unified School District in school and after-school education opportunities. Those are the future of our community. And because we are nationally known for our investment in our community, for our relevant programming, our inclusivity, we have been featured across all the biggest national publications like the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, San Francisco Chronicle, and many, many other forums. So we're a really great organization, again, for visibility. So what excites you? We have a lot of opportunities, and we do have some packets there so that you can see what levels might fit with you. But we have season sponsors, single concerts, musician support, youth education, and we love to be able to customize opportunities that make sense for your business. So we can reach over 25,000 households. In direct mail and electronic mail. Social media is a really big part of what we do, and so we have a pretty big brand presence with an average of at least 250,000 brand impressions. We have private receptions, so it's opportunities to be able to entertain your friends, colleagues, and introduce them to the really rich cultural life here in Oakland. So if you have any questions, I introduced Dina Bartello, our development director. She'd be happy to have conversations with you, of course, myself. Robert Kidd is a longtime associated person, and he's going to be voted onto our board on Monday. And Morris Chubb, who is here from the San Jose Rotary, who is also on our board of directors. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any and all of us. And we also have some posters back there for our free concert in Frank Ogawa Plaza on August 4th. It starts at 7 p.m., but there's going to be food trucks and a whole lot of things. We're going to have a 55-piece orchestra, a young soloist who is 14 years old, who is touring internationally, so she's really special. So come on out, bring your friends, your colleagues from your businesses, and hang out in the plaza on August 4th. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Miko Hatano. Thank you for sponsoring today's meeting. Rotarians, you too can sponsor a meeting for a princely sum of $250 and have 3 minutes of shameless promotion of your business and your organization. Please contact Jesse for more information. Okay, today I have the privilege of inducting a new member of the Oakland Rotary Club. Would Julianne Ng please join me at the podium? I am Julianne's sponsor and a longtime friend, and I have two interesting facts about her. Julie is a retired bilingual teacher in English, Chinese, and Spanish, and she retired from the San Francisco Unified School District after 25 years. It's a good thing that Julie loves traveling because she received many invitations to work as an ESL teacher in remote areas around the world, like Finland, Kenya, India, Tibet, Thailand, and many times she spent 2 to 4 months in these areas teaching English during her sabbatical years, during summertime, and even after retirement. The second interesting fact about Julie is she probably loved the Oakland Symphony because she loved performing arts. She has 15 years of training and performance in classical piano, ballet, and modern dance. And she also had 9 years of studying Chinese dancing. She also writes plays for students to perform. Recently, she decided, maybe I'd like to study Chinese brush painting. So you will learn more about Julie when she does her self-introduction in the future. Julie, welcome to the Oakland Rotary Club. You're joining 270 members around the world and about 1.4 million Rotarians throughout the world. Here is your red badge. Here's your red badge saying that you are a new member. And we also have the four-way test. And the four-way test is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it beneficial to all concerned? In addition, we will have a manual that, there we go, there's lots of stuff in here. Okay, which has a manual talk about all about Rotary, but important is also a roster of your 270 newest friends in Rotary Club. So finally, you're also receiving a pin, which is Oakland Rotary pin. Wherever you wear this pin and go to any Rotary Club in the world, you'll be welcome. And so your commitment, here you go, is, as a new member, is to attend meeting either in person or online, participate in service activity, practice service above self, and contributing to the Oakland Rotary Endowment and the Rotary Foundation. It is my pleasure and privilege to induct you as the newest member of Oakland Rotary Club. Let's give Julie a warm welcome. All right, my first member is inducted in this year. All right, and some more to go. Okay, Anna Maria, could you tell us about the new club protocol and membership engagement plan?
Thank you, President Mary. Hello, my fellow Rotarians and guests. Hello. My, what a beautiful crowd you are. It is my honor to tell you about some of our new engagement and interaction and ways of welcoming community. You know, we have a brand new year, a brand new president, and we really want to kick off this year and have it be an extraordinary year, a year where we're bringing back everyone to the ballroom, a year where we're getting to celebrate. How many of you could align behind that? Awesome, well done. May we have our slides, please? Oh, excellent. All righty, so number one, you've already heard about the gong, and more importantly, we have Jason being master of ceremonies to make sure we are all quiet and in our places. Jason Weiselman, are you ready to assume your duties? Thank you. Number two, we are going to go with, I know it's a step into technology, but online guest registration. So now, well, not immediately, but in the next couple of, meetings, what you will see is our ability to send out an invitation and have our guests register online. My request to you is to be on the lookout for this and to take it to heart. This will give us the opportunity to easily invite our friends, tag people online, and for those of you who are not as passionate about being online, it matters. It matters tremendously for us to interact online. I did a presentation a few years back for the Rotary convention with a guy who used to work at Facebook. And one of the things we had in our presentation was about how incredibly important it is to not just post and have posts just be dead. So when we post these online invitations for guests, this is your opportunity to do things like tag your guests, right? If it's on Facebook, say, hey, would you like to join me here? Or, hey, this is right up your alley, or some variation of that. And it really, really matters. And at the same time, it is awesome when our guests do that. In fact, I'm just going to give you a heads up that Andy here did the fabulous thing. If you have not gone on LinkedIn, Andy posted all about being here and tagged us and did all the yummy, delicious things that we would want people to do so that they can know how to get here and what's in store. So, yay, Andy. Number 3, we're going to create much more of the bridge so that they can know online Rotarian group and our in-person Rotarian group. And granted, we all are looking for that day when we all get to be back together, but until such time as it is safe to do that, we should be encouraging people who can't get here to be online. And frankly, people from around the world should come and check us out online. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Excellent. And here's the thing. It'll be several things. It'll be things like there'll be moments where we'll be showing our online folks here so we can see them and they can see us. But one of the big things, and Jessie Battle is working on this, is, you know that thing that Dudley used to always have to say at the beginning of the meetings about not being on the Wi-Fi? Well, we're going to see if we can eliminate that so that anyone who wants to can be online and be in the chats and talk to people online and really have that relationship with all of our Rotarians, not just the ones who are here. Because literally now it's 2 separate worlds, right? There's the people online and they can chat with each other, and then there's, the group here. We're going to see how many different ways we can break down that barrier so that once again we can be one Rotarian family. Number 4, please say your name. Whenever you're going to be introduced to guests, whenever you're going to stand up and ring the bell, let us say our names. It is unbelievably challenging, particularly for our new folks, that we don't know each other's faces. And for 2.5 years, we haven't all been together, and for 2.5 years, we've been mostly masked. So people don't know each other's faces anymore, they don't know each other's names, and it's really hard. So when you stand up, when it's time to ring the bell, please just say, Anna Marie, ringing the bell, that sort of thing. Ditto for when we have guests. Please just be the one to say your name first so that anyone wearing a Rotary badge can feel really comfortable introducing their guests to anybody else with a Rotary badge, whether or not you know the person's name, right? So if I've got guests and I just look at you, if you've got a badge on, I shouldn't have to know your name or how to pronounce it. I should be able to say, these are my guests, Michelle and Barack Obama. And when I look at you, you put your name in, right? I shouldn't have to. So let us be that welcoming. Let us make it that easy for anyone to bring guests with absolutely no fear of saying the wrong name or not remembering or having to have good eyesight to figure out who's, raising their hand. So we're just going to be that club. Number 5, we're going to capture Rotarian magical and meaningful moments. How many of you have liked the reintroduction process of our fellow Rotarians, right? It is awesome, yes. We're also going to be capturing some of those magical moments, the things that make us love being Rotarians, the things that made us fall in love with the club to begin with. So when that outreach comes, please answer it. But right now, start thinking about those things that have warmed your heart and have made you want to be a Rotarian, and it makes you wear your Rotary pin with pride. Everybody good so far? Excellent. There's one other thing, and this is number 6. It's how we welcome our speakers, it's how we show our appreciation, and it's how we demonstrate enthusiasm for ourselves and for our community and for all the causes we step up for. So I'm going to ask you to do all of these things one at a time, and we're going to practice. And Peter, could we put up the gallery view at some point? If we can, let's get the gallery up there, but all of you online. Excellent. So we're going to do a few things. And for some of you, this might be a little out of your Rotarian comfort zone, but let's roll with it, okay? So, let us first do a drum roll. Drum roll, please, everybody. Awesome. How about, anybody here good at whistling or making a good loud whistle noise? Anybody? All of you who can whistle, let's see a little whistling. Excellent. And by the way, all of you online, please, I'd like you to try this too. And if your family and friends start wondering what's going on there, just say, it's my Rotarians, you'll understand. Jazz hands, right? Jazz hands. Excellent. Blowing kisses. Raising the roof when you're excited. Raise the roof, okay? And now here's the key thing. When I make this motion, right, or anything that even looks like this motion, what I'd like you to do is to do as many of those things at the same time. This is going to trip up some of you, but it's okay. We're Rotarians. What happens at Rotary stays at Rotary. Well, no, it won't. I'll post about it, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to make this motion, and then you guys are just going to go nuts with as many of them as you possibly can do, with as much pent-up love and Rotarian zeal as you possibly can do. Alrighty? Alrighty, so let me pick somebody. Ooh, I know. I would like to acknowledge Peter Sherris and all of the people who do our tech and tech support and audio visual. No, Jason, what is going on? But let me just say this. As much as we all want to be back together in the room, it is a brilliant and fabulous thing that we have had the technology and the AV team to make it possible for us to have all of this, right? All of the things that allow us to see each other and be online when it wasn't safe to be together. It is an unbelievable level of detail and stuff that they do, and they do it every week no matter what, and it is just an incredible thing, and with such kindness and generosity. And on behalf of myself and everybody here, we would all love to say thank you for all that you bring to us. My goal, just so you know, is that at some point when we get really good at this, people outside, they're going to be saying, was that a train? Was that a plane? No, it's the roar of Rotarians coming back. So thank you, and please, your help in making all of these things come to pass is what's going to give us the year that we are all aspiring to. So thank you.
Anna Maria, thank you for that wonderful presentation about changes and Rotarians adapting to changes. Okay, Teresa, you're on Zoom. Would you like to make an announcement about the Leadership Academy?
Yes, thank you, Mary. Good afternoon, everyone. President Mary has asked me to speak for just a moment about District Leadership Academy. It's time to enroll again. As a recent graduate, I give it 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. In the 7-month program, which is free, you will learn how to write viable action plans. You'll learn all about community and world services. You'll learn how to write district and global grants, write media releases. It's a tremendous opportunity to learn more about Rotary, and the instructors are responsive and accessible. Definitely check it out. That's all I've got. Thanks.
All right. So anybody interested in this academy, Leadership Academy, let me know and we get you enrolled. It's a great way of training the leaders of tomorrow. All right. At this point, I'd like to ask Ruth Strove to come up and introduce today's speakers.
I took a mic. I got one. So, thank you, Mandy. In my role as the head of the Speakers Committee, we're going to start to try some new formats. And one of the things we're excited to do is to interview folks in our community as opposed to speak just from the podium. Are we in a good place to start? We're good? Okay. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Andy NAJA-RIESE. He is okay. He is the CEO of the Agricultural Institute of MARIN, and he brought to you today some most amazing, delicious farmers market treats straight from the Thursday market. I think it's up in MARIN. Can I have my questions? Andy and I have been talking for a long time because I'm a sponsor at the Grand Lake Farmers Market, and we've gotten to really do a lot of things, so it is my pleasure to ask Andy to tell us a little bit about the markets today and a little bit about his thoughts about the future of food. So Andy, by introduction, Andy is a champion for the systems approach to connecting small to mid-sized farmers and producers with communities in a way that is empowering, responsible, and socially just. When I read that, I was like, that's a Rotary message. So Andy, you run the farmers markets. Just a little personal background. Do you have any favorite foods?
I do. Well, thanks, Ruth, for having me today. And I have a lot of really wonderful favorite foods. So I do eat local foods, and that's really important to me. So our organization, the Ag Institute of MARIN, we go by AIM for short. We run 9 farmers markets across the Bay Area. And here in Oakland, we run the Grand Lake Farmers Market every Saturday. And anyone shop the Grand Lake Market? Great. Woo! That's great. So I think for me, I mean, I enjoy eating foods that are from within California, foods that are grown right here within our region. It's really important to me that I'm able to support our local farmers. Many of our local farmers suffered some pretty significant losses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now they're facing drought, inflationary trends, and so forth. And most of the farms in California are small farms, and it's really important to me that I buy foods directly from our small farmers. And in particular, I really love...
Was that a call for lead?
I love eating summer fruits. So in the back we have some really delicious organic strawberries, stone fruits are some of my favorites, peaches, plums, nectarines, as well as just enjoying summer vegetables. So I really like tomatoes. And one of the things that's really nice about tomatoes is that many tomatoes are actually dry farmed. So this is where initially there's water that's provided, but then water is cut off, and it's a really important technique. Or where water is, it rains, but then there's no additional irrigation provided to the tomato plant, and the sweetness, the richness, the flavor is just really incredible. Many people actually don't eat foods that are truly ripe. So one of the things that you get from the farmer's market is you get foods that have been harvested generally within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes a little bit longer. And this is fruits that are harvested for ample nutrition and for peak flavor and taste. Most of the foods in the grocery stores, because of the supply chains, might get harvested weeks to months in advance. So if you really want to support and eat some of the best local foods we have, buying locally from a farmer's market is really one of the best ways to do that. So.
Thank you. I know I love to cook from the Grand Lake Market. Many markets have lots of flowers or just a thing or two, but the market in Grand Lake has such a nice balance of ingredients for the kitchen and the cook. One of the things that I've been really impressed about with the farmers market, and AIM in particular, is your commitment to not just the people who can come and buy $5 peaches, but a greater part of our community. So I wanted to hear a little bit about how AIM is making farmers markets more equitable for all, both in terms of the consumer as well as in terms of the producer.
So one of the things, when you do buy locally from a farmer, so for every dollar sold through a farmer's market, the farmer generally is able to take home about 80 to 90 cents on the dollar. When farmers sell products through other types of supply chains, oftentimes they end up with only 15 to 17 cents on the dollar. So that really helps us support our local economy. And when we think about equity, we want to make sure that farmers markets are welcoming and inclusive to all people, both when it comes to the farmers as well as when it comes to the people that shop there. So our model is really based on the premise of we think all people should be able to access foods that are grown right here in California. One of the ironies here in California is that while we feed the nation, if not the world, we still have about 20% of people who go hungry at night. And oftentimes it's the people that are part of the food system. So farm workers, people that work in packing houses, people that are working in our grocery stores, people that are working in food distribution as well. So one of the things that we do is we operate programs to provide financial incentives to people so they can afford to shop at the farmers market. So at the Grand Lake Farmers Market, we operate a program called CalFresh, formerly called Food Stamps, and we accept food stamps at our farmers market so people can bring their EBT. It's like a debit card. They're able to come and swipe their card at the farmers market. We give them tokens that they can use to then shop for fresh produce. We also take it a step further, so we have a federal grant that we're able to provide a market match. So for every dollar spent at the farmers market, we match dollar for dollar up to $10. So that way someone can double their purchases to get more fruits and vegetables. And just to show the impact of this, so we did in 2021, we redeemed about $960 million worth of EBT and market match benefits. Yeah, woo! And that was a 287% increase over the prior year. And for us, that's really important because we found that more families are coming to the farmers market because they want a safe place to shop outdoors, they want to support their local communities, but they also want to buy direct from their farmers. The other piece too that's important is that 100% of that sale goes directly to the farmer. So we don't take a cut. So this is really important too. So in a lot of times with charitable food programs, at the end of the day, the good question is, well, how much money is the farmer actually getting? So we want to make sure that everyone who comes can shop with dignity, pick the foods that are relevant to them, pick foods that they like, that have flavors, that they can introduce to their families. And then we also work on ways to help financially support our farmers too.
Fantastic. And what about producers? I recently attended a really interesting event for the beneficiaries of your Racial Equity Fund.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're also focused on is making sure that the producers, so the farmers, the small business owners, the artisans that are part of our markets reflect the communities that we serve. And nationally, about 96% of people who sell at farmers markets are white. And a lot of that has to deal with long-standing injustices and systemic racism as farmland has been removed from indigenous peoples, African American or black people, that they've had farmland taken away from them. So there's a lot of efforts underway, and while we can't change the whole nation, what we're trying to do locally is to help make the farmers market more accessible to black and brown farmers and food makers. So one of the ways that we do that is we actually raise private funds as a nonprofit, and then we award grants to black and brown farmers and food makers who are just getting their start in the farmers markets. And here what we've done at the Grand Lake Market is recently we were able to award 7 racial equity funds, and at Grand Lake that some of the funding went to Pound Business, which is a local baker that sells at our Grand Lake Market every Saturday. It also went to Raised Roots, owned by Jamil, who is a local black farmer who's growing a variety of vegetables, African heritage crops. We also then put funding towards a local Oakland-based business called Chestnut Street Granola. So local mom and pop, family-owned business making granola with really unique flavors with orange and cayenne and so forth. So We really focus on representation that matters, but also bringing really high quality products to make sure that no one gets left behind. We're going to start the next round of our Racial Equity Fund too, because we want to keep this work going. In the first round, we awarded 7 grants. We received 21 applications though, so we're going to start raising more funds. In August, you can visit our website, agricultureinstitute.org, and learn more and help support the movement too.
Rotarians are both hungry and curious, so I was wondering if there's any questions in the audience that someone, and I see Lorna and Lois to start. Fred, could you get them a microphone?
Well, good afternoon. Let's see, I'm trying to do one jazz hand for you. Thank you for the work that you do. One of the things that I know is that there was a green program at Piedmont Middle School, and they went to where you were quite a long time ago to experience what that was actually going to be like. And in terms of the SNAP program, I see EBT signs all around the community, but I was curious as to how people who are utilizing SNAP find out that they can go to a farmer's market.
Yeah, so what we do, we work closely with Alameda County Food Bank, with Alameda County Social Service agencies, and other local partners to help really spread the word about people that can use their EBT at the farmers market. We also are able to work with other nutrition programs too. So there's the WIC program, the Women, Infants, and Children program. There's a program for seniors to get farmers market benefits. So there's a lot of outreach that occurs in the community. And it's really kind of on all of us to make sure we help spread the word and make sure that all people can shop the farmers market with dignity.
Thank you very much. Lorna Padilla-Marcus. So my question is, in your push for diversity and equity with regards to the farmers market, we've had a prior speaker here from Planning Justice and their programs in terms of entrepreneurial and kind of farm to table. Are you working at all with them?
What was the name of the organization? So we, so indirectly, so we also run a program, we have a mobile farmers market too called the Roll and Root. So we do visit communities that lack access to fresh produce or lack access based on transportation or mobility issues. So we're actually forming a consortium of organizations that provide mobile markets, and Planting Justice is starting a mobile market too. So we'll be working together through this partnership, but they're a wonderful organization as well.
Isaac Koss-Reed here, Chair of the Public Image and Communications Committee. Thank you for being such a proactive communicator. A couple things. One, I love the performances that you have at the market. I tend to go with my 7-month-old and bob and weave and dance on my own and entertain him. So thank you for that, and hopefully you can keep that going. Also, I'm very active around the lake, and I'm really curious. The lake is a constantly dynamic, interesting place. It's gone through a lot of challenges, I think, over the last couple years, but I'm just curious, how have you seen it evolve, and how has that impacted the market, and what do you hope going forward?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we operate a certified farmers market, meaning that we have to go through permitting processes. We recently just obtained a 5-year contract with the city of Oakland, which is incredible to have that long-term agreement. We also have to get permits from Environmental Health Services, from the State Department of Agriculture, and so forth. So we're a very highly regulated type of environment, and we're also regulated by the fire department. So we have to do a lot of fire inspections. So there's pretty much, if there's a regulation, it somehow impacts the farmers market. So there's a lot that we have to do, but we have welcomed some of the vendors around the lake to apply to join the farmers market. And so as an example, one of the food trucks, Culinaria, that makes really traditional Mexican food, they recently joined and became part of the farmers market. So we do welcome if people would like to apply and have a space at the market. We can't just allow people to show up. There's a whole management process. We have to get liability insurance. We do tastings. We have an audit program and so forth. So we do welcome that. I think that also we really care deeply about the location of the farmers market. So we're at what's called the Splash Pad Park, and I think Ken Katz is on the webinar today as well. Ken's been our champion and steward of the park. For those of you who know Ken, he runs the Splash Pad newsletter, is involved in the Grand Lake community, and works really close with the merchants. So not only do we have a responsibility to run the farmers market, but we also have a responsibility to maintain and protect the park too. So we're just trying to be really thoughtful about how much activity occurs at that particular park, so not to kind of overburden it. But again, we do welcome vendors around the lake if they want to join. They can apply to our markets. Yeah.
And last question, Anna Marie Jones.
Hi, Andy. I'm a farmer's market regular, and I, read about the farmer's market, and I do many things so that I'm an aware consumer, but I had no idea that fabulous tidbit you shared about leveraging the EBT card and all of that sort of thing. How do we help people to know that? Because I honestly believe that if more people knew that, it would be that much stronger of a justification for going to the freaking farmer's market. I mean, that alone would make me go, even if I didn't love all the stuff that's there.
Yeah, so I think that as much as people can do with sharing information on social media, Nextdoor in particular is a really great place to post about different types of ways to take advantage of programs at the farmers market. I think also just trying to reduce, there's certainly a stigma around using food stamps and related programs, and the programs are there for who needs them, whether you're a working mom with children or you're a college student. So we do encourage people to apply if they're eligible. There's a way to sign up. It's called getcalfresh.org, and someone can apply for the program. It's 10 questions where they can submit their application, but definitely helping to share the word with social media is really important.
Okay, one question.
Hi, continuing on that, but not really a question, but maybe just something to think about. The persons, families that are using the services, the EFT, the EBT and all of that you're referring to, they're probably, they might be on social media. We probably got to go back to some grassroots efforts. So are there areas where they might find flyers or persons going out to the community, in the community to where they are, to help them get the information? Because I think a lot of them are looking for being able to get these fresh fruits and vegetables and everything, but may not be on social media to get those messages.
Yeah, so we do a lot of outreach with senior housing sites. That's been really important. So we've met with the Oakland Housing Authority. Housing sites are a great place to help spread the message. A lot of housing sites will do like door hangers or newsletters or things like that. We've also worked with different faith-based communities. So the Lakeshore Baptist Church is another great venue. They have their own feeding program too. But also just thinking about kind of where people live. I think that's really important. So just not expect people to come to us. We have to go out to them and kind of meet people where they're at. So,
all right,
really
last question, Alita.
My name is Alita Scola, and I have Grand Avenue Business, Galleria Scola. Thank you, Anna Marie, for reminding me to say it. My question is more of I hope you can give me some help and information. As a part of the Grand Avenue Business Association, as you know, we have some vociferous, detractors of the lovely farmers market. So I'm wondering, do you have such challenges in other areas, in other places where you have markets? And if so, how have you dealt with it there? Because I would like to be able to facilitate that on our street, if possible.
Well, I will say that people are very passionate who are business owners in Oakland, and just as they are in any community, we know COVID had a lot of challenges, but we have data that shows that the farmers market brings people out, local residents and visitors, and we have data that shows when they come to the farmers market, then they go and shop the local retail stores. So it's kind of a benefit for everyone. Also, a number of the restaurants on Grand and Lakeshore also come to the farmers market too, so we can support the whole community. So I think it's about finding really win-win solutions for everyone. One of our other markets that we run in the Richmond district in San Francisco, Clement Street, we have a really strong partnership with the Merchants Association, and actually I think that particular market transformed the whole block. And we'd love to have that type of partnership with the Grand Avenue Business Association. I think with some of the new leadership that's possible, but we just welcome the continued conversations and just find ways to. It shouldn't be the market or local shopping, it's market and local shopping. We can all win by working together.
Thank you. Before we leave the Q&A, Gabe, could you see if anybody online have posted any question? No? Okay, thank you. Well, Andy, I would like to thank you and Ruth for this wonderful presentation and the delicious fruit that you bought for us. Each of you guys are welcome to take a fruit or two home today. Oakland has made a promise to every child in our city to provide them with the resources they need to succeed in their higher education and the career of their choice. In recognition, Andy, of your presentation today, Oakland Rotary will make a donation in your name to the Oakland Promise to support our kindergarten to college program for every child in our city. Thank you. Okay, all right. Today I have a fun fact for you. How's that? Did you know that July is National Ice Cream that month, and every third Sunday in July is National Ice Cream Day, which just passed on July 17. National Ice Cream Day was created by President Ronald Reagan in 1984 because Reagan wanted to commemorate a treat that's enjoyed by over 90% of the U.S. population. So he decreed a month and a day for ice cream. So I would like to say, ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream on National Ice Cream Day. Thank you. All right. Okay, Gary Flaxman, are you here? Would you tell us about next week's speaker? Somebody give him a mic.
Thank you, President Mary. My name is Gary Flaxman. I have the pleasure of giving you the teaser for next week, inspired by last week's inauguration, where Mary invited us to imagine what the future could look like. Next week's speaker is someone who is dedicated to mentoring Oakland's youth, and I invite you all to come and listen to his vision of the future.
Okay, thank you, Gary. All right. Well, I'd like to, before adjourning, I'd like to thank you, Tricia Connor, for the thought for the day, Dr. Miko Hatano for sponsoring our meeting, Julianne Ng for joining our club as the newest member, Anna Marie presentation on club changes and upcoming ways to show our appreciation and applause, Andy NAJA-RIESE for your wonderful interview presentation, Gary Flaxman for introducing next week's speaker, and the production team for managing the meeting. And look at the beautiful flower complement of color best, red peonies. Last week she had white peony, today she has red peony. Those are very good, expensive flowers. I look forward to seeing everyone at next week's meeting in person and online. So share, which means thank you everyone. This meeting is adjourned.